Welcome to the Astronomy Know-How Guides to the Night Sky. This guide is for the highlights of the skies of June 2016. June is not a month that you would automatically associate with astronomy. The days are long, and from the Northern Hemisphere the nights never seem to get truly dark. This is because they don't. Having said that, there is still plenty to see if you are prepared to stay up late. We are now in the season of noctilucent cloud. These are incredibly high altitude clouds which are revealed at this time of year due to the angle of the sun to the horizon and to the clouds themselves. You can sometimes see them very low down in the north. They have a distinctive electric blue colour and often form a herringbone pattern. You will see the difference between these and ordinary clouds once you have spotted them. The clouds are estimated to be around 100 kilometres up, and so are much higher than the clouds we are used to seeing. For a long time their origin was a mystery, but it is now thought that they are formed from very high altitude meteoritic dust. They are quite photogenic as well, but you'll need a good clear horizon usually to get good shots of these. The best time to see them is an hour or two before midnight and an hour or two after. The early summer is also a wonderful time to gaze at the Milky Way. It arches overhead, running from almost due south to due north. The brightest part is in the south, in the constellation of Sagittarius. This is because we are looking towards the galactic centre, therefore the part of our galaxy which is the most populated with stars. From a dark sky sight on a moonless night though, you should be able to make out quite a large part of it. Notice, if you can, the brighter and darker patches of it. There is a darker area known as the Cygnus Rift, which, as the name suggests, is to be found in the constellation of Cygnus and heads down towards Sagittarius. This is an area which has been obscured by dust and gas and appears to slice the Milky Way in two along its path. There are still plenty of stars here, we just can't see them due to the dust. There is a bright patch in the constellation of Scutum known as the Scutum star cloud, which adds interest and variety to the view. If you have binoculars or a small telescope and a low power eyepiece, take your time to scan through this amazing part of the heavens. It is peppered with star clusters and nebula and is worth revisiting again and again. A star chart will help you identify some of the deep sky wonders here. Low down in the south from the northern hemisphere you should see a fairly bright star with a yellowish tinge just to the north of the bright red giant star Antares. This is the planet Saturn, and it comes to opposition on the 3rd. That is, it is visible all through the hours of darkness, but is at its highest and therefore best placed to view around midnight. That's 1 in the morning if you are in the British Isles. This is a great time to view Saturn, although from the northern hemisphere it doesn't get very high in the sky. Observers south of the equator have a much better view. If you have a telescope, and you'll need one to view the famous ring system, now is the time to turn it on this amazing planet. The rings will seem quite bright at this time. This is due to the Seeliger effect, which means that the rings are appreciably brighter around the time of opposition. If you haven't done so already, check out planet Mars to the west of Saturn and near the claws of the constellation of Scorpius. It's the salmon pink coloured star. It's past its opposition now, which occurred at the end of last month, but it is still wonderfully bright and large. Compare it to the star Antares in Scorpius, a name which means the rival of Mars. Antares is in fact redder looking. Higher up in the sky and due south is to be found the constellation of Hercules. It is recognisable by its keystone asterism. An asterism is an easily recognisable pattern of stars, but not necessarily belonging to just one constellation. On the right hand or western side of the keystone can be found the spectacular Great Hercules Globular Star Cluster, or M13. This is one of my favourite objects in the night sky. It is just visible to the naked eye from a dark sky sight, and as a faint fuzzy smudge of light in binoculars. Even a small telescope with a moderate magnification will start to resolve many of the outer stars in this cluster, and a larger instrument will show it in all its glory. It looks like a ball of diamonds on black velvet, and I urge you to take a look at it. Hercules in fact plays host to not just one but two such clusters. M92, further to the north, is not as spectacular as M13, but nevertheless is still worth a visit with a telescope. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tour of the June skies. If you'd like more information about some of the objects mentioned, you should find more in the newsletter for June. Do join me again next month for another guide to the night sky, and in the meantime, I'm Ninian and I wish you clear skies.